Hey, this is the Entertainment Advice Channel. What I want to talk about today is why TikTok is ruining music. So for this video, I will list the reasons why TikTok is ruining music, and not just discussing why TikTok is making music go down the worst path trajectory. I will also discuss the possible solution to that problem. So now that I've mentioned that, let's get started. So when it comes to the topic of TikTok and why TikTok is ruining music, there are 3 points I'll be discussing for this video on how it's ruining music. So for the first point, when it comes to why TikTok is ruining music, it simply comes down to the fact that TikTok, since it has short attention spans, is making songs shorter. Now when it comes to making songs shorter, that is a big problem TikTok has, okay, in general, is making songs shorter because the people have such short attention spans. So for that very reason, they make songs shorter because they know people are more likely to pay attention to it, because of course a lot of the people use TikTok have very short attention spans because they're on the app all the time. So as a result, they get used to seeing clips that are so short. So if they're not ready to directly, of course, as you would already know, you know, watch stuff that's longer, they get impatient. So a lot of songs are like 2 minutes to 1 minute long, and it just shows you how TikTok has really genuinely ruined music. Because the truth of the matter is, to make a good song, the more you have time, at least 3 minutes minimum, bare minimum, it gives you more time to give songs that have a deep message. Well, not even just songs that have a deep message. In general, it helps get the message across for any song for that matter. And it helps you be able to, of course, listen to the song and be able to listen to more choruses that without having to repeat the same exact song over and over again. And sometimes the choruses sound better over the course of the duration of the song, because instead of repeating the same phrase, like 2 times or something, they might repeat it 3 to 4 times or something. So that's one of the biggest things that obviously new music is lacking, is because obviously TikTok is responsible for shortening people's attention spans. So as a result, music today is lacking as much substance as it used to have, even 10 or so plus years ago, when everyone was saying music is terrible, it can't get any worse. Even that, a lot of those songs sound like masterpieces compared to the music they're putting out today. Because a lot of music, of course, is dumb and doesn't make any sense. Because of course, it's like that because the songs are so short, and that's a problem with TikTok. And to go along with this point, to further add to this point, the other thing I also want to add to that is that obviously, since TikTok has people who have such short attention spans, when does the line get drawn? Like, songs are already on average 2 minutes long. What, in the future we're gonna have songs that are a minute and 50 seconds long on average? We're gonna have songs that are on a minute and 30 seconds long, or even shorter than a minute? How do we know? It's gonna happen. That's not gonna happen, I should say. Because the thing about TikTok is TikTok has people have such short attention spans, and obviously the shorter the attention span, obviously the more likely, as a result, these people who look at things like the algorithm, who focus on the algorithm and things like, obviously, to go alongside that, like how long people's average view duration is, obviously they're gonna be concerned and are gonna shorten things down. So that is one of the main reasons why TikTok is ruining music. It's making songs shorter because a lot of people use TikTok have very short attention spans. And as usual, I hate to say this because I don't like to judge people, specifically a huge category of the human population, but truth be told, this just goes to further show how Gen Z ruins everything for that matter, okay? I hate to say this, but it's true. They actually, in this case, are responsible for ruining things, okay? I'm not saying all Gen Z are like that, but a lot of them, on the real though, really do ruin things, and they're definitely ruining music in this way. So that's the first thing I want to mention, okay? The second way TikTok is ruining music is simply down to the fact that TikTok, as I'm certain you are all aware, attracts people who are casual fans of things instead of people who are hardcore fans. So as a result, a lot of artists are losing revenue for things because, of course, no surprise, people are just simply waiting for one specific song instead of actually listening to numerous different songs that artist makes. So it's obviously causing a lot of problems, just like Stacey Lacey. He's a perfect example of how TikTok is ruining music. Okay, so the truth of the matter is TikTok is a perfect example of why music is going down nowadays, and that's the second main reason why music's going nowadays. Because obviously, if these people are just showing up, just listen to one song and then they leave and all that type of stuff, then obviously it's going to affect revenue and so on and so forth. And a lot of artists, that's the only way they make money nowadays is through simply making or making or I should just say, if anything, going to concerts. Without going to concerts, obviously, they're not, no surprise, these business people, of course, are not generating revenue. So that's the second main thing when it comes to how TikTok is ruining music. So they're cutting down the revenue. So of course, as a result, people who do that stuff are going to be affected by it, and it's going to cause more problems in the music industry. And as a result, it's probably going to result in lower quality and lower so on and so forth. Because what's the point if people have such a short attention spans? Okay, so that's my second point. And now down to my third point, it simply comes on the fact that TikTok produces, or I should say, for that matter, promotes some of the wackest artists possible. This is the third way TikTok is ruining music. It promotes some of the wackest artists possible, just like Ice Spice. How many people still listen to Ice Spice? I remember a few months ago, all people did was praise Ice Spice. She's so good, she's so this, she's so that. Who's saying that anymore? Her music sucks. And all she talks about is stupid crap and talk about diapers and poopy and all that type of stuff all the time. So of course, as a result, people are losing interest in her music, and now all the extreme love she used to get is now turning into extreme hate. But whose fault is that? You were the guys who promoted her and helped uplift her and all that type of stuff. So the truth of the matter is, TikTok is responsible for producing a lot of crappy artists. Whether it's Ice Spice or the numerous other ones that exist out there, a lot of these artists that go on a platform are ass. And they're ass because because a lot of them are not talented, and TikTok people don't focus on or more specifically, don't have good taste. So they just promote a lot of artists based on things that don't matter, like how likable they are, and just not focusing on the music. Or they might just have one song and it sounds good for 20-30 seconds or something, and say, okay, I'll promote this artist, which is so stupid. You should focus on actually looking at their whole album and stuff, but they don't do that. And that's another example of how TikTok is ruining music. Out of the other reasons I mentioned how TikTok is ruining music. So now let's get to the last point when it comes to TikTok. Okay, talking about TikTok. Okay, the last specific thing I want to talk about, which I said I was going to talk about, and I am going to talk about, which is, of course, the question of how can we put a stop to this? How can we end TikTok's reign of terror it's been doing to music, for that matter? Okay, it's absolute reign of terror. Well, the simple answer to that question is it comes down simply to the fact that TikTok is going to be here to stay, at least in the foreseeable future. So the best thing to do is support independent artists, because these big companies and stuff are stupid, and that's why no one really listens to the radio and stuff. They're not going to listen to their audience. They're not going to focus on any of that type of stuff. They're just simply going to focus on what can we do to make as much money as quickly as possible. And as a result, these people are gonna fuck things up, because all they care about in the end of the day is money, So as a result, no surprise, they're obviously gonna continue to screw things up, and they're gonna continue to produce crappy artists. So the best thing, if you want music to come back, is simply to promote your own artists. Because the thing is, it's not impossible to make good music now. It's just more, down to the fact that a lot of people, just rely on the traditional methods. But that's done, that's gone. So, and it's not coming back. So that's the truth of the matter. So anyway, this is all I have to say for this video today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like this video and videos like this, remember to thumbs this video up and hit the subscribe button for my channel. And this is all I have to say, and simply put it, I'm out. So bye.